So this is Watch Dogs Legion. It's been a year since I've played this game. I played it on the stream, I think, a couple of times, and I also played a bunch of it in my spare time, doing what I usually do, which is vacuum up as many collectibles from the map as I possibly could. You can't see it here. There are parts of the map that I've managed to void of collectibles. Like over here, you can see just a big empty space where I've cleared everything out. That's how I play these games. You kind of, I think that watching my play patterns, you wouldn't be surprised that I'm the design director on State of Decay 2, because I basically, when I'm playing an open world game, I tend to just play the side content and only the side content. And wouldn't you know it, State of Decay 2 is a game that is 97% side content. That's just the things I like. So right now, I'm actually playing a new character that I just recruited the other day. So this game was requested by one of my viewers, Cogs242, who watched me play it a year ago and was curious, what my impressions would be coming back to it after a year away. And so at first, my biggest impression was I forgot all of the controls. And so I had a lot of trouble playing the game and figuring out what I was supposed to do. So I came back, I played a little bit off the stream to just remind myself how the game worked. And during that time, I got a character killed and replaced them with a new character. So this woman, actually, she's got the old lady voice, which is an interesting one. I've actually, one of the issues with the game is the fact that they had a philosophy while they were working on their random character generator, which was that nothing is ever set to 0. And that's an interesting philosophy because and I'll tell you what I mean by it in just a second, because it's almost the opposite of the approach that we took in State of Decay 2. So in Watch Dogs Legion, you've got all of these random variables that can sort of determine how a character comes together, because each character is made up of a bunch of different stuff. They've got their model, they've got their voice, they've got their all their little traits that determine things about what they're capable of, their bonuses and their penalties, things like that. And all of that comes together, but there's no such thing, apparently, according to when I chatted with some of the developers on Twitter a year ago. So maybe I could also be misremembering what they told me, but it was never a 0% chance that something could happen. You can always get a character who's a little surprising, and there aren't ever things that are just incompatible. And so the issue that I had with that was that sometimes I would get the old lady voice on a character that did not look very much like an old lady. Like this woman, she looks older. She looks like she might be, in her 50s. But she doesn't look that old. And she's got this, when you hear her talk, she's got this just doddering old senile woman voice that is just a little bit more than you'd expect from the look of this character. But I think the reason why that gets matched up is because nothing is ever set to 0. And so you choose this model for the character and then you're choosing her voice. There's never a 0% chance that she's going to get the old lady voice. Or I don't know what order they do it in. It could be they choose the voice first and then they choose the model. And so, but, the features that make this character look a little bit younger and fitter than you'd expect this sort of old lady voice to have, none of those have a 0% chance of rolling up. And so you end up, with sort of a philosophical statement you're making about how your characters, people are always surprising, and there's no such thing as stereotypes. The thing that's wrong with stereotypes is that they're always untrue about someone. There's no such thing as a stereotype that is actually accurate, because humans are just infinite in their variability. And even if something is statistically common, nothing is ever 100% true. And so they're adopting that philosophy, which is, it's a very realistic way to approach the game in some ways, but it also creates these moments where, because the game is randomly generating the characters, when you run into one of those disconcerting mismatches where you're like, oh, this character doesn't feel quite right, instead of thinking of it as, oh, well, this character is just unusual, I bet there's an interesting story as to why this character talks this way or looks this way or has these, mismatched traits. I bet there's a story behind that. That's what you'd say if you'd met a person like that in real life. But in a game, when you know the characters are randomly generated, your reaction instead is, oh, ha ha ha, silly computer doesn't know how to generate a human. And that kind of can kick you out of your sort of investment in the game, your sort of suspension of disbelief. So we actually took the opposite approach in State of Decay 2, where we have a bunch of hard and fast rules that say a character with this trait will never have this other trait. and they just completely prevent each other. And we try to use that tool to make it so that we don't create those moments of where you see the artifice. Those moments where you look at a character, you're like, oh, haha, the random generator messed up. We try to avoid that, and I still get messages though. I think there was actually one that somebody called my attention to a post on Reddit recently, where somebody had a character who was both. They had a trait that said that they had lived in squalor just after the apocalypse, and they'd actually loved it, like that they missed this time in their life where they had just never had to clean anything because the world had ended. But then it also said that they were fastidious and loved to clean things. And so those were contradictory traits. And I think I actually do have some trait tags in the system that would have made it possible to restrict those two traits from happening in the same character. And I think I've just failed to put it on one of those traits. So yeah, I think I probably got a clean tag and a dirty tag, and I think I just missed it in one of those cases. It was just an oversight. And so I need to go back in and add it back. So that's, we're still editing the traits to try to make them match up a little better than they did. But there's a trade-off, right? Because even though we're working really hard to try to make sure that the characters don't have those uncanny mismatches, it also means that there's a subtle implication in our game that contradictory people don't exist, which is not true. Contradictory people do exist, or that and there's a risk of leaning into stereotypes if you're doing that kind of thing. Now, in our case, we actually consciously use it to avoid stereotypes in some cases. Making two things that are often stereotypically together, restricting them so that they don't happen in a character. So we don't have characters who feel like they're endorsing common stereotypes. So we try to use our power for good, but we are using the power in a different way than these folks did, it's just interesting. I'm definitely not saying, I'm not lodging this as a criticism of Watch Dogs Legion or trying to, sing the praises of our game. I'm obviously, I like the philosophy of our game because I'm the one who chose it. So of course I like it, and I have an affinity for it. But that doesn't mean that we made the right choice or that it's there's some kind of extra legitimacy to it. All it means is that you can be solving the same problem. Like we and Watch Dogs Legion, we're both trying to create a world populated by characters that you could recruit and play. Who are all procedurally generated, so there's an infinite number of them. You can get them killed, you can always replace them, but you'll never get the same character twice. We're both trying to solve that problem, and it's interesting to me that we were able to solve the same problem in completely different ways and still feel successful, and the game still feels like it is accomplishing what it set out to do. There wasn't one right way to do it, and even in these subtle ways, there's different approaches you can take. So anyway, that's my little spiel. That's the thing I noticed the most. I think that came up after the last stream that I did of Watch Dogs Legion. So I wanted to go through that, but also I should play the game a little bit. So if you haven't played Watch Dogs Legion, the setting is sort of a near future dystopian Britain. The whole game is set in London. And it's a near future dystopian Britain where there's just a lot more surveillance. There's sort of a little bit of a fascist government that has taken over, and you play somebody who is resisting that government as a hacker by through subterfuge. And so the map is just full of opportunities to engage in that sort of thing. So right now in this area immediately around me, there's little collectibles and things that I can go after, things that I can steal, some of them inside these red areas, which are controlled by enemies. And so like for instance, right here, there's just a little bit of money. So I can just head in that direction. Now, I've got to remind myself what the controls are repeatedly, because my character here, there's my, let's remember where I've got my ride. So to sprint, I hold the right trigger, which is actually, when we were revising the control scheme for State of Decay 2, with the Juggernaut Edition, we actually considered making the right trigger be sprint, like it is in Watch Dogs. Because when you're not aiming your gun, that theoretically that trigger is available. The reason we didn't go with it is because we're currently using it with... using the trigger for grabbing zombies. And unfortunately, there aren't really any other options for the grab command, because you can do you can grab and then do other things to the zombie, like throw it or stab it, and it's really hard to do a button chord with any other pushing 2 buttons at the same time with any other pair of buttons. So having it be on the right trigger was pretty important. So we decided not to move it, but it is a reasonable decision. If you like, this game I think does not have a grapple command, and so there's no reason not to do it that way. So this money is way up here. So as long as I can get up high, I could probably grab it. Now the question is, okay, so I can't hijack drones. So there's certain characters. So each character's got specializations. And this character I'm playing right now, her specialization is, I think she's got this little spider bot that she can use, but she can't hack drones the way some other characters can. So one solution to trying to get this money would be to hack a drone, fly up close to it, and then hack into whatever. I think that this little E represents some kind of cryptocurrency that's stored on hard drives around the world, and so you can like wirelessly hack into them and steal the money out of them. But unfortunately, I don't think I've got a lot of options, and I don't think that my spider bot can get up there either.
Me, lousy tin can.
Can you hear my voice, by the way? Like I've got the volume turned down a little bit so that, you know, we're not dealing with constant noise. But my character definitely sounds like a doddering old dowager rather than a sort of the younger, spry 50-year-old that she appears to be. Okay, so I don't have a drone right now, but there are a lot of places in the world that do give you access to drones. I'm trying to see if there's any around here that do, and I don't think I can see any of them. So there are these cargo drones in industrial areas. They're all over the place. You get these cargo drones you can actually ride, but I don't have that here. So let me look at my team and see if I've got anybody. So by the way, because I haven't played the game in a year, something broke about my character's portraits. So you can see here, normally this would show 9 faces of my characters, but so I've got one character who's got the wrong face. I've got one character who's got the right face, and then the character I just recruited. This was the first character I played, though, when I first came back to the game. So it could be that as I play each of these characters, maybe their portraits will get corrected. So the question is, can any of these characters hack a drone? I don't think that they can. There are some also that kind of come with their own special drone, but I'm not seeing any of them with that either. So I don't think switching characters is going to give me that ability. But maybe this is just not the area that I want to be searching right now. So let's go someplace that's got a little bit more interesting stuff to do. Not the places that I've already cleaned out. But yeah, just like maybe a denser area. Like over around here, like, oh, we've got these like tech points and some money and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, this seems like a nice neighborhood. So let's fast travel over here to Waterloo Station and head over towards the London Eye and see if we can get some stuff done there. Cogs asks if I have the Deep Profiler. And I'm sorry to say I have no idea what you're even talking about because I don't remember enough about the game to be sure. Ooh, okay. There is a cargo drone. There's a cargo drone around here. So this is what, let me show you how I usually play the game. So I can hack a cargo drone. I can hijack it. And then I can land it near me. Oh! On top of my own head. That wasn't what I meant to do. Okay. Anyway. And then I can hijack it, and I can just control it. So I'm riding on this thing now. So now, there's some kind of... Ah, yes, there's this item right here, these tech points. Now, do I have to collect them in person, or can I hack them? I think I might have to collect them in person. So let's try to position ourselves in a good place so I can get back on the drone if I need to. Hop down, and pick this up. So yeah, we got some tech points. So I can spend that on some upgrades. That'll be great. Oh no! Sweet. That's how I wanted that to go. So yeah, another problem you have to solve in a game like this is how much are you going to prioritize the fidelity of the animations versus the gameplay? Like the characters in this game do tend to kind of overshoot their targets a little bit, because I believe that they're prioritizing Oh, yeah, I don't need to highlight that money anymore. Let's highlight some more different money. Let's highlight some money that's over closer to the London Eye, actually. Like over here. So let's head over there. But yeah, so you kind of have to decide when you're deciding how your characters work, whether you're going to prioritize animation fidelity or if you're going to prioritize controllability. Because the more control you put in the player's hands to like very accurately move their character, the more difficult it's going to be to make the character look like they're moving like a natural person. Because, you know, your ability to control the game, you know, in real life, people are, you know, constantly falling forward and catching themselves on their feet. Walking is actually pretty complicated. But in a game, you know, you just move a stick and slide your character around, and the animations have to look like they're doing the right thing. And so the more you make it like your character is just sliding around and the actor is just doing their best to look right, that can make the game more responsive for the player, but look weirder on screen. But if you prioritize the character looking nice on screen, a lot of times that means things like slowing down more slowly. So you're running in a direction, and then your character has to take some time to stop so that they look natural doing it. But that means you could overshoot and run off a cliff or something like that. And so it's very difficult to sort of to manage to balance those two things, and no game gets it absolutely perfectly right. Every game is a little bit over in one direction or another, because, you know, playing a game character is not the same thing as walking, as it turns out. And so it's always going to be different in some way that feels a little bit weird, though. Some games are definitely better than others at, you know, balancing the two, and some of them are really good at just sort of choosing an approach to gameplay that leans into the strengths of what their character is capable of doing. So, you know, if you're going to have a character who has got like extremely high fidelity, navigation behaviors, then you can put them in a world where, you know, things like delicately stepping off a drone just isn't important, where you're running around in a big wide world with just a lot of freedom, and then it doesn't matter if you overshoot a little bit because nothing's going to hurt you. Okay, so there must be some way into this building. Ooh, there's a camera inside the building. Oh no, it's outside the building. Never mind. A lot of the time, like, they've got this really clever mechanic in Watch Dogs, which is unrealistic, which is, you know, line of sight hacking, where, oh, what is this? I think I know how I'm supposed to get in there. Let's see. It's line of sight hacking, which means if your camera can see something, you can hack it, which has nothing to do with reality, but it creates these fun little geometric puzzles where sometimes you have to go from camera to camera to camera around a space, hacking each camera in turn to get to the thing that you actually need to hack. So it's one of those cases where the gameplay is worth the unrealism. Wait, hold on. Let's try this again. So I saw this little thing here, and yep. Okay, so I'm glad that I brought my spider bot. Oh gosh! All right. Apparently there's a hazard in there. Okay, how do I deal with that? Again, my unfamiliarity with the game, because it's been a year. I recognize that was a thing I could use a spider bot for. I didn't recognize the hazard. Maybe it's just a timing thing. Maybe I needed to pay more attention to the rhythms of what was going on inside that area so that I could get it right. So we'll just wait for my my spider bot down there to recharge, and we'll try this again. So McGurk says, "Is your spider bot as happy that you brought it as you are that you brought it?" Yeah, exactly. Because the spider bot seems like it's probably having a bad time, though. I don't know. Even if it did achieve consciousness, does it have pain receptors? That is, a weird thing I've been thinking about lately. The fact that humans can feel pleasure and pain, that subjective experience of pleasure and pain. Is it even possible to create an artificial intelligence that would experience those the same way that we do? What is it about that subjective experience that makes it work? Because, you can certainly have a computer be informed that a bad thing happened to it. But how would you make it actually experience it as pleasure or as pain? Like, I don't even know how that would begin. So let's toss our little boy up there. Oh, okay. Well, apparently he's not going to stay. It's fine. He's a jumpy lad. Okay, so now let's pay attention to what's going on here. Okay, yes. So we do have a conditional thing like that. Okay, so we're just going to skitter on through this. Okay, is this where I want to... Ooh, what's this? Hack. Hack. Okay, that was the money. So the money is just hidden in this vent. It wasn't even hidden in the room. It was hidden in the vent. So I got it. We're good. Hey there, Mom. I got it done. I did it. Good boy. Oh, who's a good boy? You're such a good boy. All right. So wait, where did my drone go? There it is. So yeah, so this is what I do when I'm playing Watch Dogs Legion. I mean, there's missions and stuff, you know, but why play missions when you can just run around the world and collect stuff? And I gotta say, like, you know, there are similarities between this game and State of Decay 2, but one of the biggest differences is the sheer intricacy of the levels in this world. Like this world is made up of, oh wait, oh, this is inside a cage. I don't know if I can do anything about that. Let's have a look. Like, because our world, you know, we have a much smaller team than they had, and so our world is built of a lot of, you know, consistent pieces. You'll recognize the same houses multiple times, and the density is very, very low. You know, the houses are spaced far apart. There's long drives between them. The neighborhoods are fairly sparse because we're trying to, you know, achieve a lot with a very small team. These people really knew how to use their team. I mean, they built a scaled-down version of all of London. I mean, I'm probably exaggerating there, but still, it's a big... As city maps go in games, this is huge. And it wasn't as simple as just saying, oh yeah, we're just going to build a bunch of city space, do whatever you want. Like, this entire map is made out of places where things are hidden cleverly, and I need to hack my way into them. And that's just insane. That is an insane amount of level design that goes into this world. And so I you know, this is a level of detail and design work that went into building this world that far outstrips anything we even had the time to do on State of Decay 2. And so it's really, really impressive to me. Okay, so this, oh, it's one of these. Now I've got to remember how this works. So I want to get in here. So I think I need to make the connection to this lock blue. And so... All right, so we've got a blue line going this way. And I want it to go that way. This stops me. So does that mean I need to rotate it to go that way? Or do I need to have it go both ways? Let's try both ways. Follow it around here. Okay, what's stopping it here? This? All right. It goes underneath the thing. Okay. Oh, is there something I can adjust under this thing? Okay. I feel like the cargo drone might have something to do with this. Can it pick these up? Yes, it automatically picks it up. Nice. And it moves more slowly when it's got cargo. All right, well, I just want to watch the world burn, so I'm going to drop that in the water. So now that I've lifted that, I can rotate this, and now I've got two blues feeding in here, and I can unlock it and rotate it. So now my blue line's coming all the way over here, and now I can unlock this. And it doesn't need to rotate. This can rotate.
Holy shit on a shovel!
There's my old lady again. Okay, and so now we need to also move that cargo. Okay, let's move my character safely out of the way. So yeah, the world is just full of this stuff. So yeah, I'm a little flabbergasted by this game. I mean, and I feel bad because, you know, this game did not get nearly, I think, the positive attention that it deserved. because while, it's not a perfect game, and there's, ways that people could criticize it, and I think that it was probably held, honestly, to a higher standard than State of Decay, because, State of Decay is it costs half as much. And so people, I think, sort of grade us on a curve. They know that we're a small team making kind of a small-scale game. And so, so this game was subjected to a lot more scrutiny than State of Decay 2. And I think it ended up with kind of, not the best reputation, which is too bad because just the sheer artistry that went into building this thing is insane. Okay, so we've completed that. Now we can open the door and collect our delicious tech points. Tech points. Num 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 num. All right. Where'd the freaking drone go again? I always lose my drone. Whatever, I can call it. There it is. All right, let's come back. Come back to Mama. Okay, let's hijack it. And let's figure... Oh, yeah, so every time you call a drone, it makes a new drone. Now I've got 2 drones in this area. All right, so this tech point, this one's in a red zone. This is what I'm going to do. This is probably what's going to get my character killed, honestly. So when you're in a red zone, you have to wear a mask, and everybody who sees you, like basically, it's places that are full of guards, and if people see you, they'll start shooting at you. This game plays a little bit fast and loose with the murdering, which, I don't love all the time. There's some characters who just, they come with a gun, and like the spy characters in particular, they come with a gun, and their takedown moves are breaking people's necks. And I'm like, oh, wait, that was just a guard. He probably has a family, and this is the only job he could get, and and I get worried about it. Okay, so I'm looking for an entrance of some kind to this place. It says opening soon. So somewhere around here. So on this side, it's not red. So I think this side is probably not interesting. But my delicious, delicious tech points are inside here somewhere. So there's going to be some way in. I just got to figure out where it is. So I'm just keep flying around until I see it. So Jimmy the Geek XL says, I enjoy Legion greatly. It gets unwarranted hate, LOL. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Again, like, I don't, of course the game isn't perfect. No game is perfect. But this one did some revolutionary things. And I feel like it should definitely get a lot of credit for what it accomplished. So, okay, so here is a door. Don't know if it's the door I want to use. How are we for people? I mean, it doesn't seem like anybody's watching except this guy.
What's wrong with that drone?
There might be another way in. Actually, let me... Before I get off this thing... Wait, that's not what I meant to do. I didn't mean to... I meant to hack. Okay, I meant to hack something. There, I can hijack that camera. Let's look around inside. Okay, so we just disabled something. Okay, so that looks like that might also be an entrance in that direction. The tech points are there. I have to get them in person. I can't just hack them from afar. So what did I disable? Okay, it looks like I disabled that, like, detector thing, the red glowy thing that was going to sound an alarm if I came in. So you notice I put a beautiful mask on. And I'm going to sneak in here. Are there any people? I don't think there's any people. Oh, wait. I thought I saw the tech points sitting in this area, but no, they're deeper. So I haven't really found my way in yet. So if anyone sees me in here, I'm in trouble. But I don't see any people yet. So it could be that this is just passive defenses. By the way, I love that when you're sliding down a long ladder, you jump off the ladder at the bottom to land. That's great, except when you're climbing down a short ladder, you just immediately jump, which is weird. Okay, so it looks like there was another way in through a tunnel down here that I didn't end up using. I ended up, instead of going the sort of acrobatic way, I went the hacky way. But yeah, so it's like each of these challenges is like, you know, it's like they thought it through like a Hitman level, you know, where it's like there's all these multiple different ways that you can go. And I'm not sure why I might want to go up higher. Because I've got what I came for. Hey there, Crowley Crossroads King. Thank you for joining my stream. I am doing well. So Jimmy the Geek says that he's prone to like games that where you can build things, like Legion and State of Decay. You can build your team or your group. Yeah, so same here. That's, you know, something about State of Decay where, you know, because there's definitely a version of State of Decay we could have made with all, you know, bespoke characters that told very specific stories, and we probably honestly could have told more satisfying stories that way than we did. Oh, interesting. So there's some people defending this area up here, and there's some notes that I can gather. I wonder if they'll see me if I park on the roof. But anyway, but yeah, so we could have just, you know, not given you that creative investment, and it would have. I mean, there's definitely. Whoop, whoop. Let's disable that drone real quick. I think that drone was looking at me. I think that's why the person got a little exclamation point over their head. Okay, looks like... Oh, I alerted some folks. Who's looking at me? Oh, it's another drone. Ah! Okay, now they've called reinforcements, so I did a bad job, is what this is saying. But I'm just here for one thing, right? Is it a thing I can get in here? I forgot what I was looking for. What am I here to get? Oh, there was a note. There's a note I'm in here to get. Oh, it's on the other side of this wall. I thought it was in here. It's on the other side of the wall. Now I'm just trapped in here. So they've got an interesting mechanic, by the way, where I believe that your, like, stunning weapons are more effective against enemies that are unaware of you. So you can, like, nail them with one headshot if they don't see you. But if they do see you, it's a lot harder. Okay. This is what I wanted. This note. Whatever. I'll read it later. No, I won't. Okay, so each time I hack one of those drones, it falls, but... Oh my gosh! No, 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 no. But I can't just do it back to back. What is that? Okay, I can disable that one. Okay. There we go. Is another one? No. There, take that one out. Oh, gosh. That's what reinforcements are all about, I guess. No, not here. No, not on this person. Oh! And I got killed. Just like I did last time. That's fine. That character was weird anyway. So, yeah. So now I can go back to another character, like this one, for instance. This is actually one of my favorite characters, even though she's totally murderous. I like her, and I'll tell you why I like her. And this is the last thing I'm going to do before I end this episode.
My feet cut out. What's happened?
Unfortunately, that piece of your heart isn't the only thing that died. Anyway, you're up.
What? All right. So I'm trying to remember, how do I look at a particular character? Is it just the team screen where I do it? So she's got the best trait I've ever seen on a randomly generated character. Hiccups. So whenever she's stealthing through a level, she periodically hiccups. and enemies hear her. So she's a hit woman who tries to sneak into places to murder people, but also she hiccups constantly and she can't be quiet. And it's amazing. I just absolutely love it. So I'm not going to try to show you that in action because honestly, I'm so bad at the game right now after, being just out of practice for so long. I'm just going to get her killed and I like her too much. And so we're not going to do that. But that is sort of a little taste of Watch Dogs Legion. So if this seems like, if you missed it when it first came out, and this seems like the kind of game that you'd be interested in, I think it's totally worth giving it a try, especially because I'm sure that it's much cheaper now than it used to be. And it's got this enormous, modeled, beautiful city of London with a lot of really clever, level design going into everything. Like, it's really, really cool. So, there's my endorsement of it. Thank you to Cogs242 for suggesting that I play it on the stream so we could sort of chat about it. And yeah, there we go. Oh, so Cogs wanted me to check one thing. So let me just do something real quick here. So he said that I should check the team screen to see if I have a deep profiler. So I assume that would be a trait on the character. Yeah, I don't think that anybody has anything called deep profiler on them. So I assume, is that something that lets you sort of know more about a character before you recruit them, I imagine? Oh, it's in the tech menu? Oh, it's not the people menu, it's the tech menu. Oh, okay, Here we go, deep profiler. Yes, I do have this. So schedule and contact info exposes new ways to recruit, even for enemies of DedSec. So this is the thing that lets you recruit bad guys to join your team. Got it. Yes, I do have that. Oh, and it shows the daily routine of NPCs. Well, let's have a look at that real quick, since we're here. So I'm not going to get into this fight because I'm just going to get killed. So I can find somebody. I can basically look at anybody. And right now he's preoccupied. But I can decide that I want to go through the process of recruiting someone.
Fucking useless.
He's just ready to beat the heck out of this guy. Okay, I don't think I can countenance this. So yeah, so my character doesn't just knock people out. She murders fools. She just murders them. So she's fleeing from Operative Kimberly Ackley. So yeah, so I don't know what how you necessarily see characters' routines using the deep profiler. Oh, once I've marked them as recruits, then you can see their daily routines. Got it. Well, I'm going to put some distance between me and where I just murdered that guy in broad daylight. Because, what? Actually...
Anyone?
Okay, looks like they've lost track of me. Now, I realized one thing I didn't do was consciously find myself a good thumbnail for this video.
Terminating pursuit and coming back.
So what I'm thinking I should probably do is find myself another one of those cargo drones and maybe just get a really nice shot of the London Eye. Because it's sort of, it's interesting how, it used to be that, the Houses of Parliament were sort of the, Big Ben was like the thing that you showed to say, oh, look, we've gone to London now. The way you show the Eiffel Tower if you're going to Paris, you show the Arch if you're going to St. Louis, you show the Space Needle if you're going to Seattle. You always show the London Eye. You always show, Big Ben if you're going to London. But now it's the London Eye. It's interesting that that sort of has become the thing you do. Okay, so I am walking into a restricted area, but I don't think there were a lot of guards around here. The reason I'm going to this restricted area is because I can see that there is a cargo drone available here. So hopefully... Oh, you hear... I don't know if you can hear my character hiccuping, but she just hiccuped. See, I'm not supposed to be here. There is... There should be, anyway, a thing that lets me call a drone up here. Can I get up there, though? Oh, no. Okay, that person almost saw me. So I think the fact that I got killed here last time is probably a sign that I should not be doing what I'm doing. Here we go. But this is a thing I can climb. And yeah. So I'm going to call a cargo drone. There it is. I'm going to hack it. Bring it down. Climb on board. And just GTFO before anything notices me. So, okay, let's get to the other side of the eye, and let's take a nice little shot of the eye. Whew! All right. And then here goes my character just hiccuping like an idiot. I love this. Again, best character trait ever in a random character generator. Okay, so we'll do this, and then I'm going to finish doing what Cogs is advising. I'm going to choose a potential recruit to replace the character I just lost. Threat level severe. Yeah, so I'm going to replace the character I just lost, and with a new potential recruit. Though it takes time. You have to actually complete a mission in order to get a character on your side. Sometimes like a kind of a lengthy mission. But I'll get all set up for that, and we'll get to see the Deep Profiler in action. All right, so yeah, I think this might make a decent thumbnail for the video, right? That looks pretty good. I feel like maybe I can frame her silhouette a little bit better against the sign. There we go. That's probably all right. All right, so now let's go find a character that we think would be interesting to recruit. And so this is where we kind of reveal, you know, my approach to recruiting characters, because, and you'll see this difference between like me and like a lot of State of Decay 2 players. There's a lot of State of Decay 2 players who are just looking for the best combination of skills, and you know, and they're always evaluating characters in terms of, you know, what that character can provide, you know, mechanically to the team. Whereas I'm usually just looking for weirdos that'd be fun to play. It's like, hello, person. Okay, yeah, she's a bare knuckle amateur. She's good in combat, and that's the only thing that she has in her favor. And yeah, so she's a physical therapist. So the team is injured for shorter amounts of time. That's cool. But yeah, I guess, you know what? As much as I like to find weirdos, just boring characters, you know, who only have like one thing about them, maybe aren't as interesting. But so let's go to a more crowded street and start investigating some folks. Hey there, guy. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to carry a gun in public like this. I didn't mean to look so creepy. I apologize. So this guy, oh, he's an Albion employee, so he gets access to Albion locations. You get some money when you recruit him, and he takes less damage. So this guy could be actually a pretty decent infiltrator. And it shows that he's working in Westminster till 8 o'clock, so he's eventually going to go home, which is neat. Ah! Okay, she's making a weird face in her picture. So he might be interesting to recruit. Let's see what else we got around here. He's got a signing bonus. This guy's just got a studded baseball bat. Yeah, I'm thinking of the people around here, this guy is probably the guy that I want to consider. So let's save him to recruits. And now let's view him on the team roster. Okay, so... Oh, interesting. I've got the wrong portrait on this guy, too. This is a potential recruit I have, but I've got the same portrait as the character that I just lost. This character. Yeah, so there's some kind of glitch going on with my portraits. I don't know what's up. But yeah, so this guy, he dislikes DedSec. So let's push Y and deep profile him. So he's identified as a counterfeit pharma dealer. He's investigating a counterfeit drug delivery. He discovered a counterfeit pharma shipment at South Bank Atrium. So I can investigate all these things, and that might give me an in for trying to get him to want to join my organization. His schedule, he works in Westminster until 8 in the morning. Then he sleeps all day in South Bank. Then he eats with his wife at a certain time of day, attends rehab at a clinic, shops. This is more complicated than I expected it to be, honestly. And he's got a cousin as well. Yeah, so it's pretty incredible the level of detail they go to with this guy. So if you wanted to, if you had the time, like, I could watch this guy. Like, right now it's 4:51 in the morning. I could watch this guy until 8. Follow him home, see where he lives, wait there, and then wait till he goes to, like, dinner with his wife right before work. Like, you could totally just follow him the whole time. So that's one of those features where it's like, it's really neat. Like, I know Skyrim had stuff like this too. Like, when they were first sort of showing off Skyrim, and I think Oblivion did too, they would show, like, you can, like, follow these characters around. They have lives, they have routines, they have needs. The AI is, just, it keeps it going all the time. And that's really, really neat. But also, can the player tell the difference? Because if the player can't tell the difference, then why did you put all that effort into it? The thing that's really cool about this, though, is I think that they modeled these characters out to a very low level of fidelity, and then let sort of the normal day-to-day AI do most of the work. And so you'll notice they didn't try to come up with a really intricate schedule for each character. This guy doesn't actually do a lot of different things. He works, he sleeps, he eats one time. And that's basically it. And I'm pretty sure that the way they probably set it up was each character that gets generated is generated with a reasonable routine that basically is like activity, place, activity, place, activity, place. And then in the actual world, all the game probably does is say, okay, you are doing this activity in this place. The character paths over there, finds a place where they can do that activity in that region, and then just does that activity, until they're done. And then goes to the next place. And that's actually not that hard for AI to figure out how to do. So they didn't have to get all that intricate or really model out their needs or treat it like The Sims or anything really elaborate like that. They went for the simplest possible version of this where the game could handle it. It probably wasn't as much work to set up as a more elaborate life simulation. And so they could actually get it done, get into the game. And then if you ever decide to follow a particular person, they actually have a life. And so it's like I feel like they chose a very balanced and appropriate level of fidelity to model this to, so that it's, it's not doing so much that it's swamping the game performance-wise, and also just creating a bunch of experiences that the players are never going to pursue, because that's just a waste of everyone's time. So they didn't go too deep, but they also didn't go so simple that basically, we're just spawning random characters and they're just walk-ons, and that's it. They're just spawned in the space to look like a crowd, but they do absolutely nothing. Like, they chose a nice balance point in between where, like, if you look closely, all the characters feel real, but they don't have to, and you don't have to look closely if you don't want to. Surreal Scotsman says, every game I play, I imagine what it would be like with a zombie apocalypse in the middle of it. So this one would probably be a lot like State of Decay 2, because there's so many parallels between our game and Legion. Cog says some NPCs get drunk and dance around in water fountains. Oh, like the opening to Friends. That sounds good. Anyway, thank you, Cogs, for pointing that out. I actually hadn't realized that the game. I think that I probably watched promotional materials for the game over a year ago that told me about this, but I completely forgotten that it existed. So that's a really cool thing to have checked out. Thank you for highlighting this for me, Cogs. I really appreciate it. But this is a good time to end the episode. I'm getting hungry. I should find out what the dinner plan is. So let's actually end the episode this time instead of just pretending we're about to. And yeah, so if you want to subscribe to my channel, you can see me comment on all kinds of random games. And if you follow me on Twitch, you can make recommendations yourself, like Cogs did. Anyway, other games over here.